Hello again, everyone. It's First Fridays with Ambassador Terry and friends, and I have an exceptional friend. We've only known each other for about a year and a half, but it was one of those instant connections that just worked on a lot of levels. She's been on a lot of my programs, and she's got quite an interesting story that we're going to talk about this month on First Fridays. And that would be my good friend, Eugina Johnson. Welcome, Eugina. I am glad that you were able to make it on today.
Thank you, Ambassador Terry, for having me. I'm excited about this conversation. So let's begin.
Yes, let's get right onto it. I like her. See what I mean? We get right into it. Okay, so subject of this month, we have some chief executives, very senior executives going, it's time to leave the suite. Step out of the C-suite and go on their own, or some of them are just flat retiring. They're liking where they're at financially. Not a lot of them, though, because here in America anyway, political climate, et cetera, there's a lot of change going on right there. So that may not be the best idea. But the gutsy ones, this one, they say, okay, there's a time and here's the place. And you've got two things going on that I wanted to talk about right away. And that is, you were chief marketing officer of an international telecom company, and you're deep into AI right from the beginning. You jumped in both feet and really stepped into it. And that's a big subject right now. Both of these fit really nicely into what we're going to talk about. So, Eugina, tell us a little bit about you, and when you get to that C-suite, what gave you the bug to jump into entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. And thank you again for having me. I just announced either this week or last week that I started my own AI company. It's right now in stealth. And I'm excited to talk about what brought me to this journey, because obviously it's been on my mind for a while. And a little bit about me. I've been in telecom industry for 24 years. I have 20 plus patents, including on AI and predictive AI. So AI being of interest to me for quite a while, probably for the last 10 years, because in telecom, there was this self-organizing network, AI and ML enable optimization and automation initiative. And when ChatGPT came about 2.5 years ago, we got introduced to generative AI. So I started doing my research, analyzing the market, because that's what I do. I created a new category in telco. And I've started a newsletter, Generative AI for Business, last year. It's approaching a year. And it was my personal research on what's going on in generative AI, because I was trying to figure out where's the niche and where I can jump in and start a company. So that's my advice is do your research, talk to customers. I talked to about 200 potential customers last year. So to some people, it seems, oh my God, she just jumped in. She didn't. She set a foundation first.
I hang out with smart people. Did you hear that? Checked your demographic, decided where key target markets were, what are the KPIs in those target markets, not just jumped. Okay, some people just jump and they're going to grow flowers in their bedroom. Well, that's fine, but that's not going to make you a whole lot of money.
I don't judge. So, Ambassador Terry, I don't judge. People can do themselves. I do me, and I'm giving advice from my point of view. I'm just a data point. But as you saying, I couldn't have just jumped without laying the foundation. So I am with you. There's many different people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we all got our own thing, When I was between corporate positions, I sat down with my business partner and love of my life, and I said, okay, so do I want to go out and get another job? Do I want to do another one of these? Do we want to do something? You know, the fact that I was already out, I didn't have to worry about doing it in between meetings, doing my research and stuff like that. Like you, I just dive in. I go all the way in. And there seemed to be a market for where we started, and that was 2012, and it has just continued to blossom and evolve into three divisions. We're international. We're all over the place, and a lot of that what came from evolving. I'm an international speaker like Eugina. A lot of conversations off the stage or right after the stage, kind of move things in certain different ways. COVID, I'm an author. I've written 10 books now. COVID took a theory that I had about consortium business model for the 21st century. And it's time to write it now. So during lockdown, I went full in on that. And that's kind of about me. For you folks that know me, I'm always thinking my top 125 podcast weekly show, What Are You Doing, came out of me thinking about what I wanted to do during lockdown. I lay down, took a nap. Yes, I take naps. And within 10 minutes of after waking up from a nap, I had it figured out. What Are You Doing was born. And same with the vision strategy roadmap that's been very, very successful. So that's a little bit about me and my way into the entrepreneur's world. And in your last year or so, Eugina, I know you've put on international events on behalf of your company. What kind of because in the back of your mind this whole time, this is kind of percolating. So when you were at these international events that you were putting on, speaking from the stage, what was your thoughts in the back of your mind? Were you growing an idea, growing a demographic that may work with this idea that you're kind of percolating? What were your thoughts back then a year ago?
That is such a great question. And I want to go back to one thought that you said while you started your business, being between jobs and saying, do I want to work for someone else or do I want to take control of my destiny? And that's the decision, that was the question that I asked myself as well. Do I want to work for someone else, or I want to be the decision maker? I want to drive the strategy, and I want to be responsible for the outcomes and the product decisions, customer decisions, and everything else. So when I was putting on those conferences, extremely busy, working crazy hours. So thinking about this at night and on the weekend and getting really, really burned out. So Christmas I spent just sleeping because I was absolutely burned out. So, but still, when you ideating a startup, your goal is to check your idea. So when I come to an international conference and there's all those people, super smart people, global people, obviously I talk to them. I validate their idea. I take their thoughts. So that's what my another piece of advice. Third one is after you decide, you do your research, then you decide to work for yourself because you want to control your own destiny. The third one is go out there and talk to people, have them validate your idea. And this will help you shape your idea, shape your mission, vision, the company you want to build. So you will get prepared. So that's what I was doing in addition to doing my job, is just talking to really smart people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Be, rise to the people you want to serve, and that means if you want to be a millionaire, start hanging out with millionaires, because the thought process, the energy, all of that type of thing. And you want to have a successful corporation or company, hang out with people of similar success. So you start taking on their vibration as well. And, you know, particularly, you were very fortunate in my eyes, Eugina, to have an opportunity to talk to the people that you would be serving in a year or so, and that is hanging out with these international superstars and where they are in their industry, with the idea that none of them is competition. Ladies and gentlemen, if you use the word competition all the time, try to find a new word, because nothing is competition. Okay, you can have two companies that are twins, but you're still talking to two different markets. Okay, people are going to do business with the people they know, like, and trust, or become to know, like, and trust. So again, for me, stepping into where we were, I already had a lot of contacts in different companies in the C-suite. I was in the hospitality. I was a C-suite officer in a hospitality company. So I was in the senior part of events with the superstars of industry. Okay, our corporation took care of the lead of business in America. All right, and so you rubbed elbows with them, you bumped into them, you talked to them, you had very interesting conversations during these events, and the different things like Eugina did. And you start taking on, number one, you take on the vernacular of the people that you're going to hang out with. You're not copycatting, you just assimilate into them. The same way that, Eugina, when you first came to the States, you had a very strong accent. And as you've been around Americans for all these years, you've become Americanized in your vernacular, the speech, your diction, and your speed of speech and things like that. You're acclimating to the people that are around you. You're vibrating on their scale. That doesn't mean that you're fake or you're a copier. It's just that's a natural response to the environment around you. Would you agree with that?
100%. And I'm going to go back to what you said. If you want to learn how to make $1 million in your company, hang out with millionaires, because we become a reflection of 5 closest people around us, and we change. We grow as humans. So who we were, friends with or partners with, or, we worked with 10, 15, 20 years ago, we might not be as close as we move on. I'm not saying, cut them out of your life. Absolutely not. I'm still friends with people, from 24 years ago, because I started in the industry as a receptionist. And we still text. They would come to my house. We go for lunches. So those friendships exist. But people that will help to build the next chapter of your life, select them carefully. You never build alone. So you want to find people that will say, you know what, you sound crazy, your idea is crazy, but you my kind of crazy. How can I help you?
Exactly. And I've received that type of feedback early on too. You're doing what? Right? Well, yeah. I know a lot of people that need the type of business that we were in, serving health and wellness professionals, helping them start the business, branding, doing all those kinds of things, because we have a lot of experience at it. At the time, we had 7-figure coaches working with us. 7 coaches at one time, at one point, to really get us to where we were going, because I'm impatient, number one. But I already knew most of this stuff, but I didn't know how to put it together. Okay. So for those of you that are listening in, and thank you very much for doing so, for those of you who are listening in, usually when you go into your first company, to start your first company, you got it here, but you may not have it here. And if you don't have a coach, get a coach. As a matter of fact, I recommend that you consider a mentor. Yeah, probably when you were a young executive or just coming up, you had a company mentor to kind of hold your hand and walk along. Well, don't give up on the idea of a mentor for the rest of your life. Okay, I'm 72 years old and I got a mentor. Okay, and she's younger than I am. So age doesn't matter either. Okay, it's that connection, what she can bring to the table, and what I can bring back to her, because it's a two-way conversation. But this discussion is not about mentors and coaches. This is about senior executives out there. Now, I saw a video a couple of days ago. I think it was on CNN headlines, where a senior executive in an international corporation was suddenly laid off. No rhyme, no reason. Thank you. They walked in. Thank you for your service with us today. Grab your stuff. You're done. Right? They'll worry about the ramifications later. Okay. That's one thing. That's hard enough to deal with, going home in a situation like that. I've been fired before too. Didn't affect me like, I think some of the better, more successful people I've ever worked with or even know today, been fired a few times. So have I. And the thing is, she had been in an industry that needs her expertise and knowledge. And it's been, I don't know for sure, it's 3 or 4 months now. She's put out over 1,000 applications and resumes, and about 1 in 20 is a callback, and she hasn't got a second call back since. Now, some of that is, you get kind of nervous looking for another job. And another part of it is DEI's effect and the current administration in America's effect on diversity has changed. And a lot of companies that I was very surprised with, Target, Walmart, all the rest of these, they're doing away with their DEI concepts and their vision. And so for people of color and females, if you're a nice white boy with a good Harvard education or an Ivy League education, you're probably going to get another job pretty quickly, but not necessarily the same way. So at what point, ladies and gentlemen, do you start thinking about, do I want to do this on my own, or do I want to just keep going? I have a good example of a gentleman that I spoke on a stage with a number of times over a decade now ago. He was looking for a senior position. He decided to go on the speaker's circuit and talk about it, and found a really good one, because somebody in the audience, there's 3 types of person that you're looking for out there. The actual person themselves, ladies and gentlemen, the person who works for that person, and the person or persons that play golf with them on the weekends. Okay. Hey, Charlie, you have been complaining about not having a XYZ. I just heard one, and you got to meet him. Okay. That's a very powerful referral. Hey, boss, I know you've been looking for an XYZ. I was at an event this weekend with my husband, and he was listening to this lady who was up on the stage, and she is you, man. She is the person we're looking for. We need to talk to her. Okay, that's the 3 ways. Now, obviously, the direct route is somebody in the audience. You're speaking from the stage, and somebody in the audience is going, "I want you." Search is over. I want you, and those don't. If you're not in your mind thinking about, no matter who you're talking to, You could be playing golf with the buddies and talking about what you've been doing for your job search or anything like that. Um, at the same time, when you talk about that, in your mind's eye, think about the ideal employer or the ideal customer that you want, because you'll start saying things that will attract that type of person, even though you're talking to your buddy over a Budweiser or whatever. Eugenia, thoughts?
So many good nuggets, Ambassador Terry. So many. I want to pull out two of them. The first one is layoffs right now happening. It's been going on since 2022. So large number of senior executives, they being laid off, and it takes um, 12 to sometimes 24 months to get another job. You're absolutely right bringing up that example because the market is very, very competitive. So, and people have a choice. They can look for another job 12 to 24 months, or they can start their own company, take control of their destiny. And in 12 to 24 months, they're going to have a strong, I call it a toddler company with, financing secured and product. So the choice is there. You can either send 1,000 resumes out there and constantly, interviewing or waiting for the phone to ring, or you can say, you know what, my company is going to be my choice. I'm going to put majority of the effort there. And if the interviews come in, that's great. I'll take them. And then I will have a decision today. I want to build a company or get a new job. So it's diversifying and building a company and looking for a job and then deciding. And maybe in 2 years, when you're super successful, the decision will be so very easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For those of you who think diversity is not important, it is. Um, if your mind is open, like our hiring practices, we hire minds. Okay, um, we don't care what your religion is, male or female, trans, whatever it is. You're brilliant. I want you. Okay, everybody brings customers to the table. Everybody. I don't care who they are. Okay, we've had some excellent referrals from our accounting company. Okay, when you're a nice person, people enjoy sending you people to consider. Okay, and vice versa. Hey, boss, I heard this person talk the other day at a conference where I had a vendor table. I think she would be ideal for you to talk to. In fact, I met her and name dropped you. If it's okay with you, I want to do an introduction with you two on LinkedIn. For sure. If nothing else, that's it. That is a person of a connection that you might be able to help. Okay. My wife and I have a really good reputation out here in the consulting and coaching world. Go see Terry and Linda. If they don't know, they know who does. And that, you can't buy that. You can't buy that. So be a good person. Be kind. If you can be anything, be kind. Don't take any grief either. Um, as we wrap up today, I am so glad that you made it, Eugenia. It's just I can't put it into words. I'm just so thankful that you made it. Some final thoughts on what we put out there today. What resonated with you?
So what resonated is two things. Is when you start your own company, I would suggest to talk to everyone. Don't judge, talk to everyone. And that's what I've been doing. I have my targets. I need to talk to 30 to 35 people a week because you never know what ideas they might strike. And I have like a list going because some people, though they might not be able to introduce me to any of the investors, but they give me ideas for go to market, and they give me some other ideas. And so I would say number one is talk to everyone out there. And the second one is offer help, even if you don't, know how, maybe connect, because what Ambassador Terry said about kindness, let's just make this world a little bit kinder. We're all struggling. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what people feel, what they're going through. So be kind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's kind of the sub theme today, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's the end of First Fridays for this month with my friend and guest, Eugina Jordan. Watch out for her out there. You know, we're both all over LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching. Look us up. All right. Reach out, have a DM with us, make a connection. You never know where that conversation is going to lead. Okay. So, again, thank you very much. And